We'll be diving into the inconsistencies between the Megan Thee Stallion police report versus her medical report. Okay, let's just jump right in. Today's video, I know it's almost like the longest game of whodunit in terms of, was she shot? Did she step on glass? If she was shot, who actually shot her? I know, these questions tend to go round and round and round with this case, and ultimately we probably won't know until all the evidence comes out in trial. But today's video is just going to focus on walking through the inconsistencies of the police report and the Megan Thee Stallion shooting versus the actual medical report. So just as a recap, Megan Thee Stallion initially told police and doctors her injury with the incident with Tory Lanez was caused by broken glass. She later recanted that explanation, citing, fearing the police shooting first and asking later, and attempting to essentially just protect him as a black man in a situation that was happening very quickly. So that was her explanation as to why she recanted the broken glass story. The police charged Tory Lanez ultimately with the assault with a semi-automatic firearm in connection with the shooting. And prosecutors have said that they believe the evidence substantially supports the charge. So, and to clarify, assault with a semi-automatic firearm, but also carrying a firearm, an unauthorized firearm, which is a completely different charge. He's actually charged with both. So, in this case, if you have a police report where the victim is going on record with one thing and then you have a medical report saying another, it actually takes away from the prosecution's case. It doesn't necessarily mean that, Tory will walk away, but what it says is it creates reasonable doubt. And in criminal law, you have to remember whether Tory did it or not, right? Or shot her or not, it almost doesn't matter. Is there any reasonable doubt in this case to say, is it possible that even if she was shot, was he the shooter? And I think that is what, at least I struggle with this case. It's not so much whether I believe whether he did it or not. It's beyond that. Is there enough reasonable doubt in this case to get him off? So when we look at the police report, it actually talks about the injuries. So if you scroll down, it says Smith, Peterson, and Harris. So talking about Megan, her friend, and Tory. These are all their last names. Did not complain of pain or injuries. Pete was transported, which is Megan. Pete was transported to Cedars-Sinai and was treated by Dr. Lafredo for lacerations to her left foot. Dr. Lafredo confirmed lacerations due to stepping on glass. So it is odd that in the initial report, it's not just her saying that she stepped on glass. They're saying a doctor confirmed that she stepped on glass. I think that's the troubling part of this. I think if it just said she said it, then we already know why she said it, right? Or allegedly said it. She was trying to protect Tory in the beginning. I think the issue comes in that they put in the report that the doctor confirmed it was glass. And then we move on to the medical report. So let's move on to the medical report. Let's see. The medical report, if you go to, I want to say the second page in the report, because there are 2 pages here. So the first page, if you look at it, it actually says she reports that she initially thought she stepped on glass. And so that's on the front page, that she initially thought. And then if you scroll down to maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th paragraph, the paragraph under descriptions of procedure, it actually says, in the second paragraph under the description of the procedure, bullet fragments was identified and successfully removed. Her Achilles tendons was noted to be grossly intact. And then if you go to the 2 more paragraphs down, it says successful removal of major bullet fragments. There were tiny fragments of retained missiles that were noted, however, deemed too small to attempt retrieval, meaning some of the bullet fragments were so small that they're actually still in her foot. So I don't think Cedars-Sinai would say there were not bullet fragments if there weren't bullet fragments. So I think we can lay to rest that, a gun went off and that she was shot. And even if the full bullets didn't go into her foot, at least at a minimum, fragments went into her foot. So I think we can lay to rest that some sort of incident happened with a gun, where a gun went off and she was shot. I think, again, the question now is it her friend? Is it Tory? There's alleged evidence that shows gunpowder, not or fingerprints with gunpowder, not just with Tory, but also with her friend. That the light went off in the car closer to her friend versus Tory by allegedly this witness. So, until that comes out and is substantiated, there's still this game of who done it. And so that's that. I mean, you can see for yourself. I think for a long time we wanted to see the actual records. I think it actually backs up what she says, that she initially tried to protect him and lied about glass, which obviously was included in the police report. And then later, because there were actual bullet fragments, that was later noted in the medical report. I just hate that now it makes it harder for the prosecution to make any sort of case that they need to make. And at the end of the day, it is their case to make. Tory Lanez can respond to the accusations, but it is not his job to prove that he shot Megan Thee Stallion. It is the prosecutor's job. So with that being said, let me know in the comments below if you what you feel about the contradictions with the glass versus the bullets, and then also who you actually thought or who you actually think shot Megan Thee Stallion.